Assalamualaikum. My name is Widi Mutakin, founder of Expose Studio and Expose Academy. In this video, I want to answer one of the most frequently asked questions by SketchUp users who are trying Blender for the first time. Where in Blender can I find a tool equivalent to SketchUp's line tool? To give you a bit of context, in SketchUp, you can use the line tool to draw lines in an empty space. You can draw lines on existing surfaces, and you can even draw a line from a surface that stretches out to an empty space. And if the lines that we drew are connected or form a loop, SketchUp will automatically generate a face inside that loop. So how can we do these things in Blender? Before we start, I want you to know that I am using metric as the main unit system, but I use centimeters for the length unit. So everything that I type later in terms of length or distance values should be in centimeters. I also have the snapping mode set to the closest and vertex modes. But I don't use snapping by turning on the snap icon up here. Instead, I prefer to hold the control key every time I need to turn on snapping, okay? To access or perform 3D modeling commands in Blender, you need to be in edit mode. First, you need to select the object you want to edit. We'll just use this default cube for now. And then choose edit mode up here, or simply press the tab key on the keyboard. Note that pressing tab is a toggle operation. It means that you can press tab again to go back to object mode. Notice the difference here. This is the object mode where we can select objects, and this is the edit mode where we can edit the selected object. In the edit mode, you have more menus consisting of different modeling commands. You have more tools on the left side. You have several options in the top right area. And if you perform a right click, you can also see more contextual commands related to 3D modeling in the pop-up menu. While in the edit mode, you can switch between element types using these three icons. This is the vertex mode. Vertex or vertices in plural form are basically points in 3D space. This mode lets you select the points or vertices of your 3D model. Next, this is the edge mode where you can select edges of your 3D model. So yes, in Blender, edges are basically lines connecting the vertices. Last but not least is the face mode. Faces are flat surfaces formed by connected edges or edges that form a loop. To quickly switch between these modes, you can press number 1, number 2, and number 3 respectively. Please note that they are the number keys located on the left side of the keyboard, not the ones on the numpad. The numbers on the numpad are used for navigation purposes. So again, 1 is for the vertex mode, 2 is for the edge mode, and 3 is for the face mode. Alright? So, how can we create lines then? Well, in Blender, although there is no specific tool exactly like the line tool in SketchUp, you can create lines using several different methods depending on the situation. For example, if you want to create 3 lines that divide this cube into 4 sections, you can do so quickly using a command called loop cut and slide. To access this command, you can activate the tool here, or simply use the shortcut Ctrl-R. While the command mode is active, you can hover your mouse on any edge perpendicular to the direction of the cut. Blender will give you a preview of where the cut will happen. In this condition, you can rotate the scroll wheel in your mouse to add or reduce the number of cuts or lines that will be generated. Let's say we want 3 lines. After you click to confirm, you are now in sliding mode. If you like the cuts to be at the center, you can cancel the sliding mode simply by right-clicking. So again, our last right-clicking only cancels the sliding process, not the cut process. The cut process already happened before the sliding process. What is cool about Blender is that every time you perform a command, you will still be able to revise it using the last action panel located at the bottom left corner of the 3D viewport. Let's say, instead of 3 lines, you only want 2 lines. And you can also revise the sliding value here. -1 and +1 will move the cuts touching one of the borders, while 0 will place them at the center. Please note that this last action panel is only available on last action you performed. If you do other things, such as selecting other elements, performing a transformation, or using another command and so on, last action panel will be gone, or instead display the parameters related to the last action you did. In this condition, if you still want to change the model, like changing the number of cuts again, you can either undo the command using Ctrl-Z or fix the model manually. We are not going to discuss that in this video, as we want to focus on line creation techniques. If you want to draw a single line at a time on existing surfaces, then you should use the knife command instead. You can activate the tool here on the left panel, or just press the shortcut key on your keyboard. With this command, you can cut on vertices, on edges, and even on faces. If you wish to cut exactly at the middle points of edges, you can do so by holding down the Shift key. To start a new cut, you can right-click first, and you start cutting again by clicking on the elements. To finish up or confirm the knife operation, you can press the spacebar key. But if you wish to cancel everything, you can press the Escape key instead. Let's see how we can control the knife command behavior. While in the knife mode, notice that Blender is showing a lot of options at the status bar below. Feel free to try them. For example, you can press X, Y, or Z to constrain the cut direction to any of the axis directions. You can turn on measurements by pressing S. This way, you can see the distance and also the angle created by the cut. Pressing S again will only display the distance, and pressing S again will only display the angle. And pressing S again the fourth time will turn off the measurement overlay. While creating a cut, you can activate the cut through mode by pressing C. This makes the knife tool work as if it were a Star Wars lightsaber. It cuts the model based on the viewing angle. As you can see, not only does it cut the front faces that we directly see, but also the faces behind the object that were not visible directly. Now, if what you want to create is a line that stretches out to an empty space, then you should use the Extrude command instead. Let's discuss the basic techniques first, and then later we will cover a more advanced method using the Auto Merge feature. Note that the Extrude command in Blender can create different extrude results depending on the type of element you select. What we want to select now is just a single vertex, not an edge, and not a face. We can press E to extrude it. By default, there is no constraint on the extrude direction. The new vertex will just follow your mouse cursor freely based on the current viewing angle. If you want to constrain the direction, you can press either X or Y or Z, which represent the axis directions. After that, you can also type in a distance value, say 50 centimeters. As usual, after you perform a command, you still have a chance to revise the parameters by going to the last action panel. Let's say that instead of going this way, I want the extrude to go this way or in the opposite direction, as far as 60, not 50. For this, simply revise the number 50 to -60. So this way is positive X, this way is negative X, this way is positive Y, while this way is negative Y. Going up is positive Z, while going down is negative Z. I'm sure you get the idea. Now, what if we want to create a line, say from this edge all the way to this location in an empty space along the y-axis? Can we do that? Sure. You can use the knife tool and then follow it with the Vertex Extrude command. But what I want to show you now is a more advanced method using the Auto Merge feature in Blender. To turn on the feature, you can activate this small icon that says Auto Merge. And then in the option panel next to it, make sure both of these checkboxes are active. Long story short, while the auto merge is active, Blender will merge vertices together when they are close enough. And when edges intersect with one another, Blender will automatically create a new vertex at the junction location. Let's just see how it goes. First, we can start by selecting this vertex, press E to extrude. Now, besides pressing the X, Y, or Z key on the keyboard, another way to constrain the direction is by holding down the middle mouse button. As you can see, Blender provides visual feedback on which axis line you want to snap to. If you release the middle mouse button on the right line, it will stay on the right line or the x-axis. In this condition, you can type in the distance value or not, it is up to you. Say 50, then click or press enter to confirm. Then press E again, press the middle mouse button again, and then find the green line, release, and then move it to about this location. Again, you can also type in the length value if you want to, say 250 centimeters, then enter or click to confirm. Last but not least, you can also make faces in Blender. Just like the edge creation methods, there are many methods that you can use in Blender to create faces. You might be tempted to create another vertex extrusion to this location, then extrude and snap to this location, and then to create a face manually, that is, by selecting all of these edges, and then press F. This is one way to do it, but I want to explore a different approach, so let me delete this vertex to start over. In Blender, you can also extrude edges and faces. If you press 2 to activate the edge mode, select this edge, and then press E, and then hold Ctrl to snap it to this vertex. We got the same result, but much quicker than the previous approach. Okay guys, as you can see from these examples, although Blender does not provide a tool that is exactly like the line tool in SketchUp, it provides many different commands that you can use depending on the condition or the result you want to achieve. And even though we covered a lot of techniques in this video, we barely scratched the surface. There are still tons of commands and techniques that you can use and learn in Blender that can speed up your 3D modeling process. If you are interested in learning more, then you should join my online course series where I teach 3D modeling with a methodological approach. You will not learn Blender by jumping around randomly at different topics, but learn the right way, step by step, through a carefully crafted curriculum. After 3D modeling, you can continue your journey in learning how to use materials and textures, and then learn in depth about different UV mapping techniques. In the next course, you can learn lighting, rendering, and compositing using the Cycles rendering engine. I have a big plan of creating a whole series that covers the complete workflow of architecture and or interior design projects. That is why, after the basic course, you can find a course that focuses on creating floor plans. And then after that, I am planning a course on modeling a whole house from start to finish, and many more to come inshallah. I hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to join me on this journey. Thank you so much for watching. Wassalamualaikum.